Hey there, everybody. Happy Fun Day Monday after Sunday. Hope y'all are doing well. So, here in the DC area, we've had a lot of energy buildup. Because we've had the Baltimore Ravens in the playoffs. And so the Kansas City Chiefs were coming here. And of course, we know that this was happening for at least 10 days. And then we know that one of the Kansas City Chief players is dating Taylor Swift. So combined all that energy in the area on top of being in DC. So there's a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on. And as much as I wanted to watch that game, I was told not to. I also knew there was going to be a lot of cameras to Taylor, not enough on the game. And of course the game was delayed because there was an unidentified drone floating overhead. So we also know some of the things that happen when there's these high profile things going on, and outside of just drugs and alcohol. We know. I don't need to say it. But I decided to watch something else instead. So I watched the new Mission Impossible movie. And what I noticed the whole time is I was waiting for something to actually occur that seemed like it was exciting. I felt like collectively every actor, they only hit 3 vocal notes. So it really flatlined for me, and it seemed very robotic and bizarre. So then I switched over to Tarzan. And so I'm watching it, and I'm like, I feel like I've seen this movie before. And I get halfway through it, and I realize I have. But then I was already invested in it because I couldn't remember the ending, so I watched it. And so basically I got off of it shaking my head because I can't get that time back. And whenever we do those things, we open ourselves up to energetics that may not be for our highest good, because we already know the manipulation that happens through electronics, etc. We also need to become more aware of what's going on with these threads of telegrams and all these different channels that we thread on, that we become a part of a group and we're reading what other people are saying, and then someone comments on something someone says, and then you hit to see the original comment to that comment, and it takes you back 1,000 places back in the thread, and then you have to scroll all the way down to find out where you were, and then there's stuff in between, and then you notice that there's all the same names, a lot of the same names. And this isn't just Telegram, this is many groups. There's always a core group of people that are literally working their digits to the bone. And I'm really kind of surprised that there isn't a repetitive motion syndrome in these digits, because I can see what's happening in the brain while they're all locked into this. And sometimes I'll go in and see something, and then I just kind of want to look around because I'm just reading the energetics of it. And then I can literally feel suction cups on my cellular brain capability. And then I'm like missing a few by the time I'm all done. And again, I can't get that time back, because I ask myself, how does any of this help me be a loving, compassionate person to myself and to the people in my home domain? And then how does it help me be a happy, compassionate person if I spread out through the demographics, or I go across the waters to other countries? How does it help me really be fully embodied in myself and be the best that I can be? And 99.9% of the time, all of these things that suck me away from present moment, just so I can be in the know or have some kind of awareness of what's going on in the world, it takes me out of how do I just be a totally present person with the least amount of mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, etheric distractions. Y'all know what happens with our emotional body. It's constantly reminding us of old wounds. Our mental mind constantly replays what already occurred, and it's a vicious cycle to try to stop that. So if we can connect with our breath and override it and focus in on the breathing of the in and out, become aware of how my body is my shoulder equal with the other shoulder? Is my hip hiked up more so than the other hip? Am I holding on with my quads or my hams? Or how does my calves, how do my feet feel? How do my forearms feel? How do the extensions of my heart feel? And then reconnect in that way and say, how does knowing any of the stuff that's going on, any of it, help me? So this morning when I woke up, I felt extremely groggy. Very, very groggy. And it was as if I was partially asleep, because I had to remind myself about contacts, take a shower, make some mushroom tea, coffee, get myself moving. I felt very disoriented. And so I had to make a couple comments on a couple things this morning on my phone. And I reread what I wrote, and I saw how I was missing keywords. I knew what I was saying, but I didn't type it out properly. So I had to delete it, or self-correct, or autofill. Manual override autofill. And I realized I can't get that time back. I should have waited. I should have said, am I to respond to this right now, or do I just need to sit back? And the answer was sit back. But I felt like, let me get one more thing done on my list. And I overrode it. I got on my mini tramp and I jumped up and down. I was making a lot of noises, opening up that thymus gland, opening up the lymphatics, and getting myself moving, because I knew I was going to sit in traffic for an hour to get to one of the medical locations I need to be at today. I'm feeling a little congested. I think I had a little bit too much sugar and some spices yesterday. So what we do yesterday affects our tomorrow. Remember that. So it's not worth it sometimes. It's not worth it. We have to really stop and think, is what I'm about to do, how am I going to feel in an hour, 2 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, 72 hours? Because what we do today continues to affect us. So I suggest today that you curl up those digits, or maybe replant a plant, or bake something, or bring a lot of extra love to your hands, that everything that you do, you touch, you are doing it with conscious thought. So you're infusing and amplifying the infusion through your intention. So you guys just have a fantastic day, and know that you're going to be okay. We have a lot of weeble wobbling going on right now because of energetics. I just think we got a little more of a whammy here in the DC area, because DC, Baltimore are all Maryland, Virginia, DC, DMV. It's all one big unit. And there's a lot of heavy duty businesses here. A lot. And federal government, non-federal government, people tell you what to do. And it affects the whole world because everyone's looking at this hub, you know. And so we have a lot that migrate here and a lot that stays here and a lot that gets attracted here. So I need to do a little bit more energy work today on myself first to stabilize and align, and then to work on the stabilization and the alignment of what is surrounding me. What is around me and surrounding me. And I need to let go of all that extra filling that may be creating inflammation in parts of my body, my mind. You know the drill. Where it's creating inflammation where it doesn't need to be. So be careful of the overstimulation, because it'll put you in hypersensitive warp speed of crazy. Turn that all back around and make it where you're just emanating love. You're this constant beacon of divine source energy emanating love versus the other energetics. And then all your energy transmutes the energy that doesn't serve. Alright? You do your job in your space and place. Don't worry about what the person next to you is doing. They'll be doused with that love just as much as someone gets doused with the opposite, right? Next thing you know, you're agitated and you're like, what just happened here is because you walked through a dust cloud of somebody else's shiat. So that's going to happen. So how are you going to be aligned, and how are you going to work with it, and how are you going to be the strongest legs to go through it? There's your key, my friends. All right. Comment, like, share, subscribe. Know that you're walking, living, breathing, loving columns of light. Own it. Be it. And know that you're enough to make massive changes. Override things. Connect with your breath. Stop and feel how your body is doing to help you override the thoughts or the urges to jump into the cesspool of threads of texting that you don't need to know what everybody else is saying, because you don't know what energetics are connected, AI wise, intentional wise, whatever it may be. Take a step back. Be one less. Alright? Stop, drop, sit, connect with that breath, and I'll see you all on the next video. Bye.